7:56 now this morning. If you're waking up, everybody's talking about what happened at the Cincinnati Bengals game against the Bills last night. A Bills player collapsed on the field with cardiac arrest.
Damar Hamlin listed in critical condition at last check. It's obviously been a scary situation for him, his family, his teammates, all the fans, not only for the Bengals, but the Bills as well. And Dr. Ryan Stanton is with us in studio to shed a little more light on what took place last night at Paycor Stadium.
Absolutely. It's very rare that you see emergency medicine playing out on national TV. That's exactly what you saw last night if you're watching Monday Night Football. When Damar Hamlin has the hit, falls to the ground. Next thing we hear is that CPR is in progress. Now what has happened is likely a diagnosis called Commotio Cordis, which is typically associated more with baseball. Actually, the ball or an impact to the chest at just the wrong time in the cardiac electrical cycle, throwing that cardiac activity into VFib arrest, which is a fatal arrhythmia. Now, the key here is understanding that early recognition, early CPR, and AED or defibrillation is the key to survival. So this is something that we need to translate as we look at other athletic fields locally, not only in high school, college, professional, because it's something that can impact anybody. And unfortunately, what we see here, and the most stark reminder, is these are young, healthy people at the peak of their athletic game. And unfortunately, his life is now in the brink. And hopefully what we saw there, and if you look at some of the pictures, you see some of the emergency physicians, paramedics that responded there to save his life.
And in Hamlin's case, he's only 24 years old, so yeah, still a very young person. What's the severity of the situation now as we're this far replaced from what happened last night? He's still in the hospital. What is the severity of his health condition?
Yeah, absolutely. If the people wouldn't have been there and responded, 100% fatal. Now, what we're seeing now and what we need to see moving forward is how much damage was done. The time that the brain went without oxygen, the organs went without oxygen. So what we're seeing now and what we're hearing through media sources is that he's being sedated. In a way, to me, that's a good sign. That means that he's needing medication to allow him to relax and to recover. Now, the idea now is seeing how much damage was done and moving forward to prevent it from happening again, and seeing if there's other or any congenital abnormalities that may have contributed as well.
The fact that he's only 24, does that help his chances of recovering more so than maybe if this happened to a 55, 60-year-old?
Absolutely, because otherwise being healthy, strong vessels, strong circulation, high likelihood of recovery. So these are instances where if they're recognized early, that it's a good chance of not only survival, but recovery, and that's what we want to see. And everybody needs to know access to AEDs, CPR, because every minute that VFib arrest goes without defibrillation is 7% chance less likely survival.
That is such an important bit of information. So glad we have you here with us this morning to talk about this, and we'll have you again in the next hour with more, any questions that we have, any developments that happen to come out in the next half hour. So we'll have you to chat with about that. We'll be right back.
Scan the QR code on your screen now and download the Fox 56 News app, sponsored by ADA.